You ever open your bank statement and just kind of stare at it for a second? Not because of some massive purchase, not because you bought a new phone or splurged on something exciting. No, it's worse than that. It's all these tiny charges. $2.99, $9.99, $4.99, little digital nibbles quietly chewing through your money every single month. And the weird part? You don't even remember signing up for half of them. Honestly, I used to think I was pretty careful with money. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about how small financial habits slowly shape our lives, the quiet stuff most people don't notice until it's already draining their wallet. And one pattern I keep seeing over and over is what I call the Apple subscription trap. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Millions of people are casually losing $30, $40, sometimes $50 or more every month without really realizing it. And once you see how it happens, the psychology, the design, the convenience, you kind of can't unsee it. So if you've ever wondered where your money keeps disappearing or why your monthly expenses feel heavier than they should, yeah, this might change how you look at your phone forever. The quiet creep of subscriptions. The Apple subscription trap doesn't hit you all at once. That would be too obvious. Instead, it sneaks in slowly. You get a free trial. You want extra storage. Maybe you try a music service. Then a TV show catches your eye. Before you know it, your monthly digital life starts looking like this. iCloud storage, $2.99. Apple Music, $10.99. Apple TV Plus, $6.99. Some random app subscription, $4.99. Maybe Apple Arcade, $6.99. And suddenly, you're hovering around $30 to $50 per month. Now, individually, each one feels harmless. Honestly, that's the genius of it. I remember the first time I actually added mine up. I was sitting there thinking, there is absolutely no way I'm spending that much on subscriptions. And then, the calculator did not lie. Why it matters? Because these aren't one-time purchases. They're recurring, quiet, persistent, and over a year, $50 per month equals $600 per year. That's a plane ticket, a new phone, a solid emergency fund boost. Actionable takeaway? Right now, not later, open your subscriptions and total the monthly cost. Most people are shocked the first time they do this. The psychology Apple understands very well. Let's talk about something slightly uncomfortable. Apple didn't accidentally create this. They understand human behavior extremely well. There's a concept in psychology called friction, basically how hard something feels to do, and Apple has spent years making signing up incredibly frictionless. One tap, Face ID, done. You barely even feel the decision happen. But canceling, that's a different emotional experience. Now, to be fair, Apple doesn't make canceling impossible, but it does require intention. You have to remember the subscription exists, navigate to settings, find the right menu, make a conscious decision to remove it. And here's the thing about humans. We're surprisingly bad at doing small, annoying tasks that don't feel urgent. So subscriptions linger. Months pass, money flows out quietly. I once kept a cloud storage upgrade for almost a year after I stopped needing it. Not because I wanted it, just because canceling felt like something future me would handle. Future me, by the way, never did. Why it matters? Because convenience on the front end often creates inertia on the back end. Actionable takeaway? Whenever you start a free trial, immediately set a calendar reminder 2 to 3 days before it renews. Treat it like a financial tripwire. The "it's only a few dollars" illusion. This is where things get really sneaky. Most Apple subscriptions live in the psychological sweet spot, usually between $2.99 and $12.99. That price range is carefully designed to feel insignificant. You see $9.99 and your brain goes, that's basically nothing. But here's the uncomfortable math most people never run. Let's say you have $10 music, $10 storage, $7 TV, $5 app, and $7 gaming. That's $39 per month. Over 5 years, that's $2,340. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like just $10 anymore. I sometimes think of subscriptions like tiny leaks in a boat. One drop doesn't matter, but enough of them over time, and yeah, you start taking on water. Why it matters? Because your brain evaluates small costs emotionally, not mathematically. Actionable takeaway? Multiply every subscription by 12. If it doesn't feel worth the annual cost, reconsider keeping it. Free trials are the gateway drug. Okay, we need to talk about free trials because honestly, this is where the trap usually begins. You're scrolling, you see 3 months free, and your brain does something very predictable. It focuses on the word free and quietly ignores the word automatic renewal. Now, to be clear, free trials are not evil. Sometimes they're genuinely useful. But the problem is behavioral. Most people sign up quickly, use the service briefly, forget about it completely, get billed later, and because the charge is relatively small, they often just let it continue. I've done this, you've probably done this, almost everyone has. There's also something psychologists call the endowment effect. Basically, once something becomes part of your routine, even briefly, you start to feel like it belongs there. So when the renewal hits, your brain goes, well, I guess I do use it sometimes, and the subscription survives another month. Why it matters? Because free trials aren't just about testing products, they're about building habit momentum. Actionable takeaway? Whenever you start a free trial, immediately set a calendar reminder 2 to 3 days before it renews. Treat it like a financial tripwire. Yes, it feels weird the first time. Yes, it works. The bundle illusion. Now let's talk about bundles, because this is where things get a little clever. Apple started offering bundled services to make everything feel like a better deal, and mathematically, sometimes it is, but psychologically, bundles can hide unused services extremely well. You might think, well, the bundle is only X dollars more, so why not? But here's the quiet question most people never ask themselves. Am I actually using all of this? I've seen people pay for bundled services where they regularly use maybe 1.5 of the included features. The rest just sits there, quietly billing every month. It's kind of like paying for a gym, a pool, and a tennis court, and only ever walking on the treadmill once a week. Why it matters? Because bundles shift your focus from individual value to perceived overall savings. Actionable takeaway? Every 6 months, audit your bundle usage. If you wouldn't subscribe to each service individually, the bundle may not be saving you money. Subscription fatigue is real. Here's something I've noticed personally, and maybe you have too. At some point, managing subscriptions just becomes mentally exhausting. There are so many: streaming, storage, apps, premium features, add-ons. And because it's annoying to track everything, many people just stop checking. This is called subscription fatigue, and honestly, companies benefit from it. The more fragmented your digital spending becomes, the harder it is to maintain awareness. I've talked to people who were absolutely convinced they only had 2 subscriptions, and after digging into their account, they found 7. 7! That's not because they're careless, it's because modern digital ecosystems are designed to fade into your background of attention. Why it matters? Because financial leaks often hide in areas you rarely review. Actionable takeaway? Schedule a subscription audit day every 3 to 4 months. Make it a recurring calendar event. Treat it like routine maintenance. The emotional comfort factor. This part is subtle but powerful. Apple services often integrate beautifully into daily life. The music just works, the photos sync smoothly, everything feels frictionless, and that creates emotional comfort. You don't want to break something that feels smooth. You don't want to risk losing photos, playlists, or convenience. So even when you know you could cancel something, you hesitate. I've felt this myself. There's this tiny voice that goes, "What if I need it later?" And that little voice keeps millions of subscriptions alive every month. Why it matters? Because you're not just paying for functionality, you're paying for peace of mind and convenience. Actionable takeaway? Before canceling, ask, if this disappeared tomorrow, how much would it actually disrupt my life? Be honest, not hypothetical, actual. Conclusion: the quiet $50 decision. If you've made it this far, you've probably had at least one small moment of recognition. Maybe you thought about your own subscriptions. Maybe you mentally added a few numbers. Maybe you felt that slight, uncomfortable realization that, yeah, this might be happening to you too. And listen, this isn't about blaming Apple or subscriptions or even modern tech. These services exist because they're